Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hebrew Canaanite channel. My name is Alon, and today I have with me again my amazing girlfriend, Tamar. Hello, Tamar.
Hi.
And I seem to have done good marketing for this live stream, or maybe the subject is especially intriguing for many of our viewers because we already have 10 people with us, so amazing. Welcome, everyone. Please tell me if there is any problem with the broadcast, with the connection, with the microphone, anything. Write down in the chat. And one small thing that I wanted to say before we start: sounds and looks real good. Thank you so much.
Good.
And one thing that I wanted to say before we start is that we were thinking that answering questions like from the chat too much when we're talking is something that cuts our flow and adds a lot of runtime to the live stream, and it prevents us from actually engaging with what we with the content that we wanted to engage with. So our plan is maybe, let's say, 45 minutes into the live stream. We will do a short break in the official content and invest like 5-10 minutes into answering some questions from the chat that we think are especially interesting. What else do I need to say? Oh, smash that like button, please. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers because we crossed the 5,000 subscriber
That's the
mark.
next goal.
Yeah, so the next goal is 10,000, and at 10,000 we will have another Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to ask questions and to get answers, subscribe. That's the best way.
Yes.
What
and
else?
Also the Patreon. Important to mention that Alon has a Patreon, so anyone who has the ability and wants to contribute some so that Alon can actually make a living also while doing this. Go to Patreon. The name is Hebrew Canaanites. Do you have a link somewhere?
Yes, I have a link in the description of this video, and also I will put the link in the chat right now. Okay, so in the chat, Bin Yuasal, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, wrote down, "This is a big decision. My best to you both. Thank you." So this brings us to the subject of this live stream. Tamar, you want to say some words about why we wanted to do this live stream?
Well, first of all, because it's something that that's on our minds a lot, obviously, and it's something that's that relates to the political situation, but is first and foremost a personal thing.
Yes.
So it's both to share, what we've been going through and how we've came to these thoughts and this decision, and the difficulties with it and the questions that we have regarding it. So part of this live stream is also question to the audience and wanting maybe some information,
information
some
and help,
and some suggestions from the audience.
Yes.
Which crowdsourcing, as they call it, it can be very, 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 very helpful. And also because it relates to many things that are happening right now in this country, and this is a way to talk about them. This is a very clear manifestation of how the political is personal. It's just the same thing.
Yeah, personal and political. Don't let anyone convince you that there are two completely distinct things called political and personal.
Yes.
It's not like that.
It's not like that. Maybe it's not personal for you, but political is always personal for someone.
Yes. Otherwise, it would not be political.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this will be demonstrated more throughout this live stream, and maybe I want to start from the moment that I knew that we can't stay here.
Interesting. I don't even know this, so I want to hear.
I think you do know. I think you do know.
Yeah.
So it was like 2-3 weeks ago. During the latest round that Israel started with one of its neighboring countries, or not even a neighboring country in this case, Israel attacked Iran. And it was different from what was, so it was happening concurrently and parallel to what was happening in Gaza, to Israel's attack on Gaza. But it was different because Hamas shoots rockets from Gaza, but these rockets are very low tech. Mm-hmm. They are not, very destructive weapons. And Israel's Iron Dome system, that's another completely, different subject that we can go into, like the military support and the financial support that Israel gets from the United States, and how much of it is invested into defensive weapons. They call it the defense industry. Mm-hmm. But that's also a lie, because defense and offense, it's the same thing. It's all power balance, okay? So Israel's Iron Dome system can effectively, quite easily, stop the vast majority of rockets being fired at Israel from Gaza. Mm-hmm. This means that we might experience times of alarms or like we have to be careful here or there, but it's not a big inconvenience for the vast majority of Israelis. The vast majority of Israelis barely feel the effect of the efforts of Hamas to attack Israel. Okay, barely felt anything. Just so it's clear. Mm-hmm. But in the 2 weeks, was it 2 weeks, right? The war with the operation, days. 12 days, almost 2 weeks. In those 12 days, Israelis felt the material, effects of this decision to attack Iran on a very immediate level. Mm-hmm. Because Israel's Iron Dome system was not effective against the rockets being fired from Iran, which are much heavier, much more powerful, much more sophisticated, and fired by, a country with 90 million people living in Iran. So it's a much more formidable force. Mm-hmm. And this means that they can and did cause much more damage in Israel. Mm-hmm. When they retaliated on this attack that Israel initiated on Iran. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They were able to enact much more damage on Israel than Hamas's rockets ever did. Okay, so this meant that several times each day, I would say, like there were days where it happened more, there were days where it happened less, but several times each day we had to go run fast to the safe space. We have a safe space in our apartment, which is really, really good. Not all Israelis have a safe space in their apartment. Some have a shelter in their building. Some have to run to a public shelter. Mm-hmm. But we have the privilege of having a safe space in this apartment. So we had to run, and we had to take care of 4 cats. Tamar is their biological mother, and I am their stepfather. And someone is trolling. I'm gonna put them on timeout.
It's so nice when I just.
No, it's annoying me. I can't concentrate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, it's really hard to get cats to come with you to the safe space, but they are vulnerable too. If a rocket hits our building, they will be no less vulnerable than we are, and their lives are no less valuable than our lives are. Mm-hmm. And we would be devastated if anything happened to them. So we had to collect them and bring them to the safe space, but it's really difficult. We couldn't do it. Like we managed to get 2 of them inside most of the time, sometimes 3 of them, 4 of them. That was very
Like
rare.
one time
like
only,
once or twice in like 100 times that we had to go to the safe space.
So the moment.
So the moment.
Yeah.
So we were sitting in the safe space, and most of the time it was like there were alarms, but they managed to disarm the rocket,
shoot them down.
To shoot them down, to shoot the rockets down, or they didn't really hit close to us or whatever. But there were a few times where the rockets were dropping not too far from us, okay? Like in the same city, Haifa, that we live in. And I remember one time, the rockets were dropping, like in retrospect, it was like kilometers away from us, right? Like 3 or 4 kilometers away from us. But it sounded like the rockets hit 100 meters away from us. That's what it sounded like. It was really, really scary. And I remember feeling this fear for my life, which I must say at this point, Gazans feel 1,000,000 times this fear, and they feel it all of the time, and for over 20 months now, okay? The fear that we felt is 0.0000001% of the fear that Gazans feel. And still it was horrible.
So scary.
Still it was unbearable. And I remember there was this moment, I was like, fuck, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how difficult it is to move. It doesn't matter if our lives will be better or worse, in what way it will be better. It doesn't matter. I don't want to feel like my life is in danger.
Yeah.
Anywhere that rockets are not being fired at me is better than here, where rockets are being fired at me.
For me, it was actually a bit earlier.
Hold on. We have a anti-Semitic troll here, a poser who pretends to be for Palestine, but is actually an anti-Semitic troll, and he's going on timeout.
You're generous.
24-hour timeout, because that's the max that I can do.
Oh, okay. For me, it was actually a bit earlier.
Yes.
It was actually the moment that we got the first siren, which wasn't a siren for any incoming rockets, but it was in the middle of the night to announce that something is going to happen, to announce that they started this war with Iran. And they actually thought that an Iranian response would come very quickly. This is what they claimed. They thought that Iranian response was coming very quickly, and this is the reason that they woke up the entire country 3 o'clock in the middle of the night with a siren.
Yes.
Everybody, to a safe place, and we went into the safe room, only to find out that there weren't any incoming rockets at that moment.
Yes.
But Israel had attacked in Iran. And that was the moment that I was very scared. I mean, it took a few minutes for us to understand that this was what the situation was. We were just reading Israel has attacked Iran, and in the meantime, we hearing the sirens, so we thought we're about to be blown up or something. You have no sense of proportion, especially in the middle of the night, and you're thinking nuclear weapons. And I don't know, for me at least, all the propaganda with reality and fantasy got mixed up in my mind, and I just felt like really, really, really scared. For me, I think that was the moment that I was thinking it was just going to get worse here. It's just never going to end.
Yes.
Whoever it's in their interest, they want an eternal war. And the next day, when I started seeing that people from left and right supposedly were all pretty much in agreement that they were behind this, that they were supporting this. This confirmed it even more. Like, this whole society is just completely gone off the rails, completely gone crazy. And I don't want this. And this fear of, like, it's just going to get worse, and this country is just going to be a horrible place to live.
Mm-hmm.
So when the rockets actually came, and there were these explosions really close by, like in particular remember one time I was like literally shaking all over my body, because to me it sounded like it was in the hallway of a building. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yes.
At that point, I was already thinking, wow, I hope it's not too late. I hope we won't die before we get to leave. Yeah. So yeah, I think for me that was the moment. And it just connects to, so that was kind of the trigger, I guess, to, but it of course fits into this bigger realization of the bigger picture of, you live in a society that you feel so estranged from, and you see everything just going in the wrong direction, and everybody is supporting it, and you can't speak up about it, and then you have nobody to share it with, except for just each other and only like a few people.
A few select people who have not completely gone off the rails, have not completely lost their connection to reality and morality.
Yes, I mean, I can share the anxiety and things like that, but you know that the underlying sentiment there is not one of what the fuck are they doing and why are they doing this. So that part, which is also a big part of it, is something that you cannot share with the people around you, and then it also shapes the anxiety response in different ways. So you don't share, I said this to you, the way that I imagine it, if you do like a brain scan of my brain and their brain, there is no overlap. So it's really hard to live among people that you feel that way about, that you just have no overlapping thoughts and really feelings about things. Barely.
And this connects to another aspect of this. So in the comments, someone mentioned the arrest of Israel Fly.
Yes.
And I talked about it in the last stream a couple of days ago. I did a stream a couple of days ago, and this was the very day that he was arrested, or the next day, I don't remember exactly. And I talked about it. And we have further thoughts to share, which are related to this discussion. But the headline that I want to say here is that, okay, I need to preface this by saying that the fascism of the Zionist regime was always felt by its Palestinian subjects, okay, whether they have Israeli citizenship or not, whether they live in Gaza, in the West Bank, or within 48 lines, okay, it doesn't matter. If you are Palestinian, you felt the fascism of the Zionist regime. You feel it from the moment you are born, always. Okay. If you were Jewish, then it's different. You might enjoy the material fruits of this regime, designed to take resources away from the indigenous Palestinian population and to bring it and to move it to the settler population, the Jewish population. So you might enjoy the material fruits. You might also feel some of the oppression as if you start like thinking thoughts against the cult, against the regime, then you will get some of the oppression. Maybe you feel some oppression, but you don't even understand that it's oppression. But the point is that the fascism of the Zionist regime was always felt by its Palestinian subjects in a way that they cannot deny. But the processes that have been accelerating in the last 20 months, ever since October 7th, create a situation where even Jewish people with Israeli citizenship can be persecuted in a very, very direct and overt way by the regime. And this is exactly what happened to Israel Fly, who said something that was out of line. Okay? And this is very worrying on a personal level, because I say stuff that's out of line all the time. I say it publicly. Tamar says it less because she's more afraid, right? You're more scared.
And this is for me another big reason that it just all kind of came together for me. I'm so fed up with not speaking out, with not being able to speak freely. And the whole Iran thing highlighted this once again, how, for example, at work, there was this, this space.
Yeah, a safe space.
To talk about
but not a
feelings.
physical safe space,
Yeah.
a metaphorical safe space.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It actually was in the
shelter,
in the basement, this is where our staff meetings are held, and this is also
Hold on, the cats are fighting. I'm gonna see what's happening. You tell this story.
Yes. So this was after the war with Iran, and after we came back to work to share our feelings, and again, I felt I didn't say anything. At this time, I was like, I'm not going to participate in this charade. I don't want to be part of it. I can't say anything for real, so I'm not going to fake it. I'm just not going to say it. And there's, since it's a small enough group.
Benny was outside. I don't know. Maybe he was fighting with some other cats.
Oh. Yeah, Benny is outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I let him in.
Oh, okay. So.
Did you say that this was when was this? In November 2023, something?
No,
like
no.
that?
I'm talking about the one now after the Iran war, when there was this.
Oh, there was another one.
I mean, I told you where I didn't say anything
because,
okay. How do we all feel after the war? And I decided not to say anything. And I was just about to say that it's a small enough group. It's like maybe 15 to 20 people. That that my silence was noticed. Like at some point, someone asked, turned to me, and then someone said something else. It's not.
So even if you try to censor yourself.
No, but I knew that I was happy about the fact that my silence was noticed, and afterwards someone asked me, and so.
Oh, they didn't ask during the meeting.
Someone asked, but then someone else kind of talked over it.
Okay.
I don't remember, but it was like diverted.
Okay.
And but otherwise, if it would not have been diverted, I would have said I don't want to say anything or something like that. I would have said something like that. And the reason why is that I knew that I couldn't speak freely, and this really pisses me off. So if I can speak freely, I'm not participating in this at all. And at some point, someone said kind of like an offhand remark, I wish they would have finished the job,
Yeah.
That someone can just say that.
Yeah.
And
that's absolutely
fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't a political discussion, but just a kind of like an offhand remark like that is just, and I know that that's not necessarily the consensus, but the consensus is Iran is bad, and basically the fact that they attacked them is good, and now we're safer than before. That's basically the consensus.
And if you say anything that's not within the confines of that, then you're at least, suspect, or something is off with you.
And there's another thing as well that I want to say. It's kind of a big long story, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try to make it short. But the whole way that I was treated, that we were all treated, but that I was treated during this time, just showed me how militaristic this entire society is.
Yes.
And it's seeped into every pore of society. Because basically, since I'm a psychologist, it's considered it's like a legal term. It's a essential factor, like they call it like this.
Yeah, essential workers.
I'm an essential worker, which means war or no war, corona or no corona. I have to work.
Yes.
Which I understand it's important to continue to have psychologists throughout these times. But none of this, now that we have Zoom, says that you have to actually physically go there. That's, to me, that's not part of this definition of being an essential worker. But somehow the place that I work for, the health, it's like a semi-public, semi-private healthcare fund, decided that there has to be a presence of staff members at the clinic, and so I asked to work from home, and my request was denied.
Yes.
And so I called in sick because I said I'm not going to risk my life for the image of this healthcare fund, because there is no actual concrete reason why my actual presence there is necessary. All the sessions were done on Zoom anyway. They called all the clients saying all the sessions are on Zoom anyway. So just for this kind of marketing strategy of them that they can say,
yeah, this is like the intersection of nationalism and capitalism, I think.
Yes, like even in the times of war, we're always here, and so I have to, for that stupid reason.
And like the quote from your boss that from your manager that was amazing, that she said, well, the soldiers are here protecting us, so why don't you do it as well, right?
Yeah, I got a phone call pressuring me to come in anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, she actually referred to it. Yeah, think of it as how do you say Tzav Shmona? We are on Tzav Shmona. We are on recruitment duty now.
Yes,
That's literally
Tzav Shmona is like the document that you get when you are drafted to reserve duty during war. This is Tzav Shmona.
Yeah. Yes, you've been drafted. Like that's literally what she said to me. I'm like,
you were drafted. Yeah.
I don't recall signing up to be a soldior for this healthcare fund. I mean, I'm just a psychologist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've just realized that, and there's this kind of what's it called? Like it's considered like heroism, or it's considered like yes, we all have to step up and do our part in this, and this kind of
and basically serve the cult.
Yes, it's not solidarity, it's fascism. It's something that has to serve some abstract kind of goal, and in this case, a war that I do not support, and a healthcare fund that wants to have a certain public image that I have no interest in contributing to. So this is another thing that just made me realize how when it's never only one part. Like the whole society is infected, and it's infected with this militarism, and that seeps into everything else. And that's not the kind of society that I want to live in, where the individual is literally not considered less important or not important, and has to serve like some kind of made-up greater good, which is the state, which is a fascist regime.
And it's not even the greater good. It's the greater bad.
Yes, exactly.
It's the interest of the empire. It's the interest of the cult.
Exactly. I'm a very strong proponent of, I think solidarity is very important. For example, when she told me, this took the cake. When she told me, you are endangering your colleagues because now they have to come in. I said, no, I am not endangering them. You're endangering them. If it was up to me, I would tell everybody, do not come in. Do not come in. Do everything from home.
If it were up to you, they wouldn't attack Iran. They wouldn't have had the military. They would, of course.
So many things.
Yeah.
So don't put me in that situation. To me, that is solidarity. I talked to my colleagues and I told them the way that I think about it. And I said, let's speak up about it. And let's write a letter about it. And let's do something. Because why should we exploit? Why should we risk our lives? It's not about, and I'm also so angry about the other people that don't have the relative privilege that I had.
Yes.
To not come in because they are afraid for the jobs. They're afraid of being fired.
We might do a whole episode about this intersection between militarism, nationalism, fascism, Zionism, colonialism, imperialism, all these things, that how they affect like the individual. What is the effect on the individual? Mm-hmm. I just want to say one thing. I see we have a lot of viewers. This is one of the highest numbers that we've had on a live stream, over 160 viewers. And I think that the live stream kind of, the algorithm kind of spread it. So we have a lot of viewers who are not subscribers of the channel. So I just want to say in a few words, my name is Alon. This is Tamar, my girlfriend. This is my channel. I am Jewish Israeli. That means when I was born, I was branded Jewish and Israeli. I was born into the Zionist cult. I didn't know it at the time, but now I recognize that I was born into a colonialist, imperialist, apartheid, supremacist, ethno-national cult project called Zionism. I am against this project. I am an anti-Zionist, okay? And this channel is an anti-Zionist channel brought to you from occupied Palestine, sometimes mistakenly called Israel, okay? Sometimes deceptively called Israel, okay? And we are talking about why I've lived here all my life, over 38 years. Tamar was born in the Netherlands, and she came here. She did an aliyah, okay? We can talk about that more later. But now Tamar has also become disillusioned with this structure, and we decided after all these years that we cannot continue living here anymore, and we want to talk about all the different aspects of that. Okay, well, we almost have 200 viewers now. This is getting okay. And if you came here and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, and you like what you hear, you like what you see, again, this is an anti-Zionist channel, okay? Anti-Zionist and also anti-all oppression. We are against oppression of all kinds. We are against the patriarchy, we are against capitalism, we are against states in general, we are against human supremacy, and we are against the non-human animal holocaust, which is the industry that produces products out of exploitation and violence against non-human animals, against cows, pigs, chickens, ducks, sheep, goats, etc. Okay, we are against this. We are vegan. Okay, and we are against enslavement, exploitation, abuse of anyone. We are against all forms of oppression without any asterisks here. We are for total liberation for all living beings. If you like this or you are interested in this, you can click the subscribe button, okay? And also smash that like button. I hate doing this, but I have to if I want to increase my audience.
So,
okay?
So did we want to say anything else about Israel Fry?
Yes.
So maybe just for I don't know, it's kind of people are talking about it here, but I don't know how much it reaches outside of here. What's happening is that Israel Fry, who is a anti-Zionist religious Jew in Israel.
Yes, he's an ultra-Orthodox
yes.
Jew. Okay.
Yes, and so he tweeted a tweet that said, so 5 soldiers died, another 5 soldiers died in an incident in Gaza, Israeli soldiers, and then he tweeted, like after that happened, the world is a better place now. I call on all the Israeli mothers to not send their sons to continue fighting. This is the only way that it can stop. Refuse. This was kind of the gist of his tweet. Yeah. A lot of people mistakenly interpret it as he was happy. He was showing joy or happiness about the fact that they died, which is a misinterpretation of what he said. He said the world is a better place now, which that is his stance. And he was arrested.
We cannot comment on this stance. We cannot,
obviously, because he
was
arrested.
Comment on this stance. We will not comment what we think about his stance.
Yes,
okay?
But it is important for me to clarify that he didn't say he was happy about it, because a lot of people, including leftists, also misquoted it as saying, "Oh yeah, he said he was happy, and that's not okay." Even though I'm against the arrest, so he was arrested. And a judge.
Oh God! Why do we have so many trolls here?
Too many to just ignore.
Yeah.
So he was arrested, and not only that, his arrest was prolonged by a judge who ruled that apparently his arrest is legal. So this is the state of the nation, so to speak.
Yes.
Full dictatorship mode, and to me, it's really quite strange and annoying to see a lot of the reactions also among Israeli leftists.
Yes.
Who find it so super necessary to speak out against the tweet and the content of the tweet. They say, even though it was horrible what he said, it was shocking, it was despicable, but I'm against his arrest. And I'm like, oh yeah, great, good for you. You being against his arrest, all that means, that's not a leftist position. That just means that, oh, I'm not in favor of a totalitarian fascist dictatorship. Everybody should be against his arrest. So that's really a very trivial point to say. But yeah, this is another thing showing that we've reached you mentioned the other day that you felt like something in the past 2 weeks has changed. Yeah. And that it's gone to another level, that something has again changed. That if before Iran, there was this feeling that things are certainly not getting any better, but at least, I don't know if to say at least, but a lot of people, more and more people are actually starting to speak out against the genocide. Most of them still don't call it a genocide, but against the genocide in Gaza, saying enough now. And then something with Iran change things around again. And I think this, in hindsight, is one of the reasons that it was done. And it really seems that, I mean, maybe you can say something about it. Like things are getting noticeably worse and more fascist and more dangerous.
Yes, that's true. And I want to say about what you said, that even self-proclaimed leftists, or even self-proclaimed radical leftists here,
yes, not just the liberal Zionists that
they really felt a need to say how outrageous the tweet was, because they needed to signal to the cult, we are still in the cult, we are not against the cult. Why? Both because they feel this connection to the cult, and because they're afraid of the consequences of being against the cult, and the consequences are real. And again, the consequences for Palestinians speaking out against Zionism and saying shocking things like Israel Frey did have already existed for decades. Okay.
And there's Ayman Odeh now too.
Yes, there's another story with Ayman Odeh, but if we go into every single point, we will not finish.
Yeah.
So the consequences for
it's basically a parliament member being ousted because he said something.
Yeah, it's another aspect of this. Now they're kicking out Palestinian parliament members for saying stuff that are not within the allowed, discussion inside the cult, which is a very narrow, strip of things that you can say. Although it's wide to one end, you can say the most extreme things that you can think of to the direction of we want to destroy, Gaza, we want to kill Palestinians.
And you can be very happy and you can dance in the street because of the death of not only Hamas fighters but just regular people.
Yeah, Palestinian
Gaza,
babies.
And there's no problem whatsoever. And you certainly would not be arrested for that.
People are asking, free Palestine, free Palestine. Let Palestine be free. שחררו את פלסטין, שחררו את פלסטין. Yes, free Palestine, free it. Freedom for Palestine, freedom for Palestine. Okay, people are unclear.
But don't say the other thing that was said in that concert, because then you will be arrested.
Yes. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is that the fact that society here has become like the discourse here and the behavior of people here and the conduct of the regime here has gone so much towards fascism that and this is you can see this by the behavior of even people who define themselves as leftists or even radical leftists, cooperating with the cult in such pathetic ways, really pathetic ways.
It's really pathetic. Yes.
And then you see, like you understand how far away everyone here is from you.
Yeah.
And you feel so isolated and you feel so lonely.
Yeah.
And you feel desperate.
Yes.
And it's just really difficult.
You see just how, even though these people, they claim to be
on your side,
on our side, on the Palestinian side, but even then you just see just how tribal their thinking and their feeling still is, how their emotions and their thoughts are being controlled by this tribalist attitude, where they can be not only disagree with this philosophical stance of can anyone's death ever mean the world is a better place. That's a question, a philosophical question. No, but they actually express outrage, and then I think, okay, would they express that same kind of outrage if someone said the world is a better place now that these and these Hamas fighters are dead?
Yes,
I don't believe so.
Here, definitely.
I'm talking about those same people that were saying that they're outraged at what Israel Frey said, and then I'm like, what is the reason for that? That they're part of this tribalism, that they're part of this cult.
Yes. We have a lot of trolls here. and I need to do. Maybe we need to hire a moderator. If I had any money, I would.
Yeah, he has got a Patreon, so donate. Yeah.
I do want to point out something because it connects to another part of the discussion that we want to have about the morality of staying in the Zionist cult as Jewish Israelis and under the Zionist regime. And I want you to notice something that
You can't even get him. Doesn't
a lot of Zionist trolls here are saying, yeah, go away, leave, fuck you, leave. That's what they're saying, okay?
Wait. What's he saying? Not trolls?
Huh? Not trolls? Not trolls? Garbage far left. Blah, blah, blah. No. These are trolls. And I'm putting them on timeout. But what I wanted to say is please notice a weird coalescence of opinions between two groups of people who are supposed to be complete political rivals. And these are people who are Zionists, and when they find out that I'm an anti-Zionist, they tell me, go away, leave, go to Berlin. They used to say go to Berlin. Now they usually say go to Gaza. Okay, they say go away. Go away, go away, go away. They want me to go away. They want us to go away. They want anyone who does not believe in their fascist regime, in their ethno-state, in their colonialist project, in their apartheid regime, in their genocide. They want anyone who's against this to go away, to leave.
This is oftentimes the response you got. So why don't you leave? So why are you here?
Yes. It's like
Zionist oftentimes.
Yeah, it's like one of the most common responses from Zionists.
Yeah, we've both heard it many times. Yeah.
I heard it. I have more experience than Tamar. This is the only difference. This is why I heard this kind of response probably thousands of times, and I'm not exaggerating. Okay. And another kind of people who want me to leave is people who say that they are pro-Palestine. I have no evidence to corroborate this, and say, why are you there? You gotta leave. Okay? So I just want to point out this weird similarity between people who are supposed to be very different. Okay? Okay.
Yeah, and you're saying it kind of like hinting at something, but I want to say the explicit thing that I think there's an underlying thing that they have in common. And that is, again, thinking in terms of separating, thinking in terms of bad, good and bad, thinking in terms of essentialist features of someone. Like you are born there, therefore you are marked as the XYZ, and this is how you now should behave.
Yes.
Like it's stripping
tribalism.
It's stripping your freedom because others labeled you as belonging to a certain group.
Yes.
Now Alon has to leave from a moral standpoint because he was born here and labeled such and such way, even though it was completely not his choice to be labeled as Jewish or Israeli. It was not his choice that there is a Zionist regime here. It's not his choice that genocide is.
They never asked me if they had asked me. Anytime they did, they never asked me. If they had asked me, I would say, no, I don't want any of this.
Yes.
And even though they don't ask me, I say again and again and again and again and again, I don't want any of this. And I do everything that is in my power and reasonable to do without putting myself in, immediate danger. I do everything within my power to go against this regime. Yes. And sometimes I do put myself in danger. Okay.
So how can it be that just by birth you have to do something so drastic as leaving the country that you were born in, that your whole family lives in, that you're, you know the language, and it's the only passport you have, etc. How can that make sense? That your moral obligation is to up and leave because other people decided all kinds of things that you don't agree with.
Yes.
I don't see how that makes any sense. So I don't see much
merit. It's a testament to, as you said, essentialist thinking that separates between living beings based on the imagined group that they belong to, and all these groups are imagined.
Like, for example, a cat. Do they have to leave Palestine?
Yeah.
I mean, no, it doesn't make any sense because they weren't branded Jewish, right? But like Alon said, he doesn't consider himself Jewish. He was just branded. He doesn't believe in any God.
I never considered myself Jewish. By the way, since age 4, my mother told me when I was 4, of my own initiative, of my own accord, I was like, Mom, I don't believe that there is a God. And I don't want to. They took me to synagogue. I was like, what? I don't want to be in this crazy place. I never considered myself a Jew. I don't want to be a Jew. I don't want anyone to, like, if you want to call yourself a Jew, go ahead. Have fun, okay? But I don't want anyone to impose this identity on anyone else, ever.
Yes.
What was done by the Nazis was imposing your grandmother, right? She didn't consider herself Jewish, right?
She wanted to assimilate. She didn't speak Yiddish. She didn't want to speak Yiddish. She only spoke German and Polish. And
she lived in Austria, right?
Yeah, she moved from Poland to Austria, and then she wanted to speak German because it was considered higher status than Polish.
Yeah.
And she lived in Austria at that point and was married there. And yeah, she did not want to speak Yiddish because she had like no connection to her Jewishness. She was completely secular, and yeah, she had nothing to do with that. But the Nazis did not differentiate between people who considered themselves or did not consider themselves Jewish, because they had a essentialist view. You are Jewish by blood, by genes, whatever that means.
Yes. And if you have this essentialist view, it doesn't matter if you're pro-Palestine or not. Mm-hmm. You're still part of fascism. You're still part of separation. You're still part of this thing that the Nazis did and that the Zionists are doing, and now part of the pro-Palestine movement that I don't think is it's not a deep belief in freedom for Palestine or for anyone, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think some other people have some other ideas of why it's a moral obligation to leave. And again, the main point here is that I think I think when there is an obligation put on an individual just because they're born somewhere, something is wrong. Something in that logic, shows that somewhere the logic has gone wrong.
Yes.
And I don't see how you can impose on anyone that they now have to do something, especially so drastic.
Yes.
Even though they're not agreeing to harming or participating actively in harming someone. And the other thing is that this connects to some of this difficulty for me, and the reason why for so long I also felt it doesn't really matter whether we stay or whether we go, is that where in the world is it actually better? Where in the world can I feel that there's like-minded people around me, that I'm not contributing to bad things? And again, the aforementioned reasons for why now we decide to leave, because it's just on a very immediate level very crazy and also dangerous and it's especially difficult to find people that are like-minded. But there is still this thought that accompanies me, that I'm kind of trapped in a world, not just in a country, but in a world where everyone is
humanity is
indoctrinated by capitalist thinking. Indoctrinated by speciesist thinking.
Yes, human supremacy.
Exploiting other animals and thinking it's okay to murder them for their gustatory pleasure. And that is something, when we were in Barcelona, for example, on vacation.
Yes.
The dead bodies of the animals are just hanging in front of the window, and it's a bit more out there in the open than it is here. Here is kind of like more hidden from view in Europe.
Yeah, essentially, it's the same thing.
It doesn't.
The number of animals being exploited and killed is Israel is top 7 per capita, like in meat consumption per capita in the world.
Yes, very very high. So it doesn't matter. Not to say that they eat more of it there, but it's in every country. Every country has their own culture of eating animals, and it was just a reminder for me. Like I cannot escape this anywhere, no matter where I go. So I might as well stay there.
Yes.
And no matter where I live, if I work and if I pay taxes, and again, if I don't pay taxes, I may go to jail or I may be punished financially. So even if I'm an anarchist and I don't believe in states and I don't believe in taxes, you have to take very hard personal risks to evade that. And
just because we are anarchists doesn't mean that everyone else is an anarchist, and it doesn't mean that these social structures, social, political, economic structures called states stop existing and stop impacting our lives. We want to dismantle the states, but just because we're anarchists doesn't mean that the states are irrelevant to us immediately.
Exactly, just like the same thing with capitalism. That's great that we don't want money, but if we don't have money, we can't live.
Yes.
So but this is relating to the moral point that by maybe the genocide in Gaza is now the most glaring thing and the most thing that has the most attention to it. But even if we were to live certainly in the US, because basically Israel is a military base of the US, and the US wants to do what Israel is the executive arm basically of what's being done in Gaza and what's been done in Iran, and it's all
and in Lebanon and in Syria, and in Yemen. Also, now, and maybe soon in other places like, I don't know, Jordan or Egypt. I don't even know.
Without the US, none of this would be happening. Yes. So from a moral standpoint, if you were to live in the US, we pay taxes there, so it doesn't matter. Same for a lot of countries in Europe.
Yes, Germany is one of the biggest supporters of Israel in the world. And if you live in Germany, so if you say, I don't want to pay taxes to the Zionist regime, so I will go to Germany and I will pay taxes to Germany. Where do those taxes go? Some of it goes to the Zionist regime. Okay, so you can't really avoid it. Yes. You can't avoid it. This is and you can't avoid having your taxes going to animal agriculture, which is slave owners whose slaves happen to be of a different species from Homo sapiens, right?
To subsidize the egg and dairy industry, which is, by the way, the reason that cow's milk is always cheaper than soy milk.
Yes.
When I first realized that I was truly an anarchist is shortly after I went vegan. I'm like, why is the money I have to pay in taxes going to these dairy farmers? Why is it going to the slave owners? I don't want it, but I cannot prevent it because I don't know, I'm not a daring person or something, so I'm not going to not pay taxes.
Yes.
And so I have no choice, and I felt so oppressed. Like I know I'm not the one oppressed, it's the cows and the chickens, but in my identification with them, I felt so oppressed that against my will, I have to contribute to slavery.
You didn't just feel oppressed. This is oppression. What is oppression?
Yes.
Making you do things that you don't want to do.
I know, yeah.
Maybe
their oppression
minimal compared to the actual oppression of the cows, but it's still oppression. It doesn't mean that it's not oppression.
Yes, it is. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm like paying money monthly to freedom farms and to animal liberation organizations, but more of my money every month is going to the ones that I'm fighting against. It is just absurd. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing that I can do about it.
Yes.
So anyway, so just coming back to this kind of point of as long as you live there, you're complicit, in some practical way, no matter where you live, but it doesn't mean you have to be complicit personally. You can always make your own personal choices on what you speak up against and what you fight
can
against.
Minimize your contribution to the systems of oppression as much as you can without putting yourself at risk, at immediate risk. Like not paying taxes, that is putting yourself at immediate risk of being arrested, of having your liberty taken away from you. Okay? So we have to make our choices. The situation is really, 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 really extreme.
Wait, why you guys talk about animal rights while Gaza lives a genocide? Are you a supremacist? Do you think humans are more important than other animals? I think this is the only reason that you can say a statement like that, because the number of victims in the animal holocaust are way larger than the genocide in Gaza. So the only reason you can say this is because you think like Zionists. Zionists think Jews are more important than Palestinians, and you think humans are more important than cows and chickens. And this is the same supremacist kind of thinking that we fight against, and this is the reason why we're talking about it.
Yes, humans are more important. Get a brain. I thought we were against supremacy. I thought that we are against supremacy. This is what I thought.
Supremacy was considered a bad thing.
I thought supremacy was considered a bad thing. I consider supremacy a bad thing whenever I see it. I consider racial supremacy a bad thing. I consider gender supremacy a bad thing. I consider supremacy based on property and money a bad thing. I consider all forms of supremacy a bad thing. And I also consider supremacy based on species a bad thing. I also consider human supremacy a bad thing. Sue me. Okay. But the point is that the system is so, and it's one big system worldwide, created by humans, oppressing both humans and especially non-human animals and the entire planet. The system is so sick that it doesn't matter what you choose, you will always be complicit to some extent. This is something that we need to realize. And we have to do our best to minimize our contribution and our collaboration with the system, but we cannot stop completely. This is just a fact. And let's take it one step further. Just because we are vegan, and vegan means that we object to any exploitation and enslavement and violence, senseless violence against non-human animals, against any animal. Okay, this is what it means. And therefore, we are plant-based. That means that we don't pay directly to companies that are using those non-human animals to create products and sell them. Okay, but that doesn't mean that we're completely that we've stopped being complicit entirely in the oppression. No, that's not true. That's not true. We live in a house, and this house was built on the habitat of non-human animals, and this sucks. And I'm against this, but I don't know what to do about it. If I know what to do about it, then I try to do something about it. If I don't know what to do about it, then I don't know what to do about it. And if anyone has good ideas for what to do about it, without putting myself at risk, at immediate risk, please tell me, and I will consider it seriously.
And there's some really concrete, I'll say this and then I'll get something to drink and maybe you want to answer a few questions. There's some real immediate consequences of this. So a lot of animals already died because during the construction, and they're losing their habitat, therefore they don't have food, or they don't have places to live. And also specifically where we live, there are a lot of boars, like wild boars, and jackals, and we hear them at night, and they're actually being shot dead by the municipality to reduce their numbers, because they are a nuisance to people, because they come into living areas of people, which is of course their home that is now an apartment building. It used to be just fields. So they're actually diluting the populations.
Zionist trolls turn out to be carnist trolls as well. This is getting exhausting.
I'm just gonna get some to drink.
Okay, so I will answer a few questions, just serious questions, not troll questions.
Ignore the trolls.
Oh, Jesus, so many trolls. I will try to find the interesting questions, okay? Let's see. A lot of people were asking where we were planning on going, okay? So this is, we will tell you some stuff about our thoughts, but we don't know yet, okay? This is a new decision that we made, and we have to, figure out the details, okay? And this takes time, and we will talk about the pragmatic implications of this soon, okay? Let's see. I find it interesting how into animal rights Israeli anarchists get. It seems a displacement thing to ignore the apartheid and organizing around it for a lot of people. I don't fully understand the question, but I do want to tell you that I think if you were born into the Zionist cult and you still chose to become an anarchist, I think this is a testament of how deep your conviction is. Because when fascism is super strong, when you are indoctrinated from age 0 by a system of propaganda that is, one of the most sophisticated systems of propaganda in the history of planet Earth, okay, the Zionist system of propaganda, if you manage to break free from that and proclaim yourself an anarchist and an anti-Zionist, a result of this is, a corollary of this is that you're an anti-Zionist, that says something about the depth of your conviction. And I think that the moment that you are an anarchist inside the Zionist cult, that means you understand the ideas of anarchism deeply. And that means that there is a higher chance that you will be an actual anarchist. Because maybe some of you will not like this statement, but that does not make it untrue. Anarchists, people who claim to be anarchists, but are human supremacists, are not really anarchists. Because anarchism is the principled position against any form of hierarchies, any form of unjustified hierarchies. And I can think of no form of hierarchies that is more unjustified than the hierarchy between humans and other animals. It is just as imagined and manufactured and artificial as any other hierarchy, and it is way, way, way more murderous, genocidal, colonialist, imperialist, violent, and oppressive. So if you are an anarchist, but you're still a human supremacist, if you are an anarchist and you eat the corpses of animals who were murdered for your benefit, just because you find a certain sandwich slightly tastier, then you are no anarchist. The only true form of anarchy is what we have to now call veganarchy or total liberation, to separate it from the tainted form of anarchism that is still diseased by human supremacy. And I think that if you are a deep anarchist, then you are obviously also a vegan. If you are an anarchist, an obvious corollary of this is that you would be an anti-Zionist, because Zionism is a supremacist system. If you are an anarchist, then you will obviously be vegan, because being a carnist is being a human supremacist. Very, very simple. So I think this is why, if you find anarchists in the Zionist cult, then there's a higher chance that they will be vegan. That's one question. Alon, is your friend from the Sound of Anarchy? They're talking about Elik going to leave too. Elik is thinking about this seriously. He has been thinking about this seriously for a long time as well. I don't know what his plans are, but yeah, he's thinking about it seriously. What else? Let's see if I can find more questions. Let's see. If you have some questions that you want answered, write them down now in the chat. Maybe I will see. Tamar, do you want to continue answering a couple of questions, because I need to use the bathroom?
Yes, and then let's go back into, and I also saw a few questions regarding this. Where do you think of going? And
yeah, so I talked about this for I mentioned this briefly, that we don't know yet, but
okay. So when you come back, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Our ideas and how the direction that we're thinking of. Anyone has another question? Let's see. Are animals evil because they eat meat themselves? So, yes, I'm Dutch. Yeah, someone else, if I'm Dutch. I grew up in Holland, and I came to Israel, Palestine when I was 19, 20. I can answer this really quickly. Are animals evil because they eat meat themselves? No. I also don't think anyone is inherently evil. I think some individuals have been brainwashed into systems of oppression and into thinking it's okay to abuse someone else, to oppress and abuse someone else because it's normalized. I don't think meat eaters are evil people. I think these systems are evil. If we're using the word evil, it has to be used for systems, not for individuals. And I think, and I want to liberate everyone the way I liberated myself from these systems of oppression that oppress both us as well as make us oppress others. So in terms of other animals that eat other animals, so there's a difference between eating someone because you have to survive and putting someone in concentration camps, which is what humans are doing. So there's a difference between oppression and subjugating, and between what other animals are doing, who are carnivores, who are eating other animals. They're not subjugating them, they're not oppressing them. So when we talk about this, the focus is on power dynamics, and this relates back to anarchism. The anarchism is the core belief that it doesn't make any sense that anyone has a higher position in a system than anyone else, that anyone has power and control over another individual. This is what we're fighting against. You cannot get rid of, I don't know, Alon has a slightly different opinion or thinking about these things, that maybe we can get rid of all suffering. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of suffering and there's a lot of competing needs that will always make this world a place where sometimes one individual causes suffering to another individual. But this is not the main point. The main point is subjugation. It is controlling and taking away someone else's freedom. So this is what we're talking about.
Okay. Let's continue with the discussion.
So let's talk about kind of maybe where we want to go and what we're thinking and the practical difficulties that we're running into.
Let's start from the practical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to talk about the practical difficulties just because they're interesting in and of themselves, but I also want to make the point. Why am I against Zionism? Because it's an oppressive system in general. But one specific reason that I'm against Zionism is because Zionism caused and still causes the displacement of people from the place that they were born or from the place that they want to live in. Okay, this the most major event in history of this kind was the Nakba that was committed in 1948, in and around 1948, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, that is, people who were living in Palestine at the time, who were born in Palestine, or just chose to live in Palestine. That's also fine to just choose to live somewhere. And no one has the right to kick you out of your home if you came to this place without being violent and without displacing anyone else. Okay, so one of the reasons that I'm against Zionism is because it causes mass displacement of people from the place that they chose to live in. Okay, and why is that? Because displacement is a really bad thing. When you have to leave the place you were born in, the place you call home, the place that you want to live in, this causes a lot of problems. And I want to talk about the difficulties of leaving so that people don't take this lightly. Okay, it's not just leave. No, it's not so easy. It's not so easy, especially if you have connections to this place. So let's start from the cats. 4 cats who were born in Palestine, definitely not part of the apartheid regime, definitely not part of the Zionist colonialist project. They were born in Palestine, and Tamar took them in because they had no place else to live and they had no one else to take care of them. And if it weren't for Tamar, most probably they would not be with us today. Okay? And now they have a good life. And this means that we cannot leave them behind. And this means that we have to take them with us. And this is a very difficult operation on a pragmatic level.
Yeah.
So you want to tell the audience just a few of the things that we need to do?
Yes. So I one time before I emigrated a cat, actually, that I found in the streets of Haifa. And I emigrated her to Holland. So I went through this process. So this is one of the things that I've now started doing is give them vaccinations, and then they have to get antibody tests, and then you have to wait a few months, and then you have to get a health declaration. So I hadn't done this before, and then when the whole Iran attack started, this was part of the fear where I felt like I cannot leave. Even if I wanted to, I can't leave for at least 4 or 5 months. So now I've started this process so that if we have to leave, and this is like a sense of urgency, that we can, that they're ready with the documents. So this is a process that it takes time, but it's bureaucratic, and it depends on where you're going, what their criteria are, but there's some main criteria for most places. And also it impacts where we can live. We can't just live in like a small apartment somewhere in a city or something like this, or even in a town where there's no space for them to go outside. And
yes.
We have to have nature around us. Some of them are used to going outside, and so it makes it harder. It's not like, oh yeah, we'll just go wherever, or we'll just like up and leave, and we'll just be somewhere temporarily. It also means we can't live like nomads, because anyone who takes care of cats knows that it's hard for cats to move. It's hard to. I'm just thinking about the flight with 4 cats. When I took a flight one time with 1 cat, it was hard enough because you have your own luggage and you have to hold the cat, and the cat is literally on your lap and like in a bag or something. But it's going to be a difficult journey. But yeah, you can't just bop around, because cats have to get used to their environment, and they can't go outside right away, and so you have to like lock them in the house for at least like a week or something like that. And you want
when we moved from Zichron Yaakov to here in Haifa, this was a difficult operation with the cats. Okay, it was like 2 months of thinking a lot about the cats and about their acclimation to their new environment. It's not easy.
Yes, especially with 4 and them getting along and them being stressed. But these are things that can be overcome, but it makes it more complicated, because it limits the options of where we can live.
Yes, I want to use the opportunity that we have a lot of viewers now to just say, please, if you want this message, you want to help this message, be spread around. If you like the kind of things that we're saying, or you're curious about the things that we're saying, so you can help in many ways. You can smash that like button, okay? You can subscribe to the channel.
You can donate to Patreon.
Yes.
Hebrew Canaanite.
So I put the link to Patreon, Hebrew
good.
Canaanite on Patreon in the chat, and the link is also in the description of the video.
Which is one of the ways actually to evade taxes, no?
I don't know. Let's not talk about it publicly.
One way to work to make a living without contributing to the suppressive system.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know if that's.
Is there a loophole?
I don't think there's a loophole there. No. But never mind.
Yeah.
And also, you can share the video or other videos that you see on the channel that you find interesting. Just help the channel grow. That would be really appreciated. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there are practical difficulties, like so a very concrete example is the cats that we take care of and we cannot abandon and we don't want to abandon, and it would be immoral to like fundamentally immoral to abandon them. Other technical difficulties. So Tamar was born in the Netherlands and she has a Dutch passport.
Mhm.
This is an amazing privilege.
Yes.
Okay? I only,
By the way,
yeah.
this is a fun fact.
Yeah.
When I came to Israel on Aliyah, this immigration agent which helps you told me you have to sign a document within 3 months, and if you don't sign this document, you will automatically lose your Dutch passport.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. So of course I signed it, and
Wow.
and I'm just imagining maybe some Dutch like very Zionist Jews are like, no, I don't care, I'm Israeli now. Like I don't think there are many like that, but I'm just like, yeah.
No, they're Zionists.
I'm so glad
they're not stupid.
I never even considered like I'm not losing that passport ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So now this passport can come in very handy.
Yes.
But I only have one passport. I was born into the Zionist regime. I was branded Jewish Israeli, and I have only one passport, and it says Israel on it. And I have only one identity card, and it says Israel on it, and it also says Jewish on it. Okay. And I don't know how can I move somewhere else. We tried to ask around, like about the practical details of moving somewhere else, and it helps that that we are a couple and that Tamar has a Dutch passport. Okay, it helps, but it's not. It's nothing automatic. It can. We can get married, okay, or I don't know, be
no, but like for example,
like civil union, okay.
So the way it works, that even the Dutch passport is for me an EU passport. It doesn't mean that Alon can just get like, I don't know, a Spanish passport. The only way through the EU passport to the Dutch passport is getting a Dutch passport. And the way that it works in Holland are actually pretty strict. Even if we were married, in order to get a passport, we would at the very least have to live in Holland for at least 3 years. And I think you're able to get a residency just based on the fact that we're married in order to go on that track to get a passport. And then you have to pass exams that you know Dutch, like that you have the language, and like a cultural exam as well.
I'm sorry, there's another troll here that's just being completely disrespectful and disgusting. You are not pro-Palestine, Guido Signore. You are not pro-Palestine. You are not pro anything. You are not for freedom.
Why?
You are disgusting, and I'm putting you in timeout. Bye-bye.
Why was he writing?
Disgusting things. Disrespectful things. Okay.
Oh, he said you should abandon my cats?
Yeah. He's saying that you should abandon your cats. Not your cats, that you should abandon the cats that you take care of.
Don't worry, Benny. I'm never doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, so that there is so in other countries, for example, if we were to live in another country where it's easier to get a passport, just the fact that I have a Dutch passport does not give me automatic residency in another country, but it does give me a better position in trying to obtain it. And money is a big thing here. So far, we have looked into just a few countries, and the one kind of theme that comes back again and again is that if you have enough money, then you should be able to arrange something. You can either buy an apartment if you have enough money for that, or you show your bank. You have to one of the conditions is to show your bank account to show that there's enough money in there to get residency, to get like a initial visa in order for you, I think, to be able to get. I don't know if you can get citizenship that way, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There's a lot of every country has different rules.
Yes,
and
the bottom line is, if you have a lot of money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Okay? Seriously, whatever the fuck you want. If you have a lot of money, you can live anywhere you want. If you don't have money, if you have very little money, you are a prisoner. You cannot go anywhere. You can barely live where you were born, but you can go. You cannot live anywhere else. They will kick you out immediately, or you will be illegal. Okay, so most people, even if they want to immigrate, it's really difficult. Most people don't have enough money to do it.
They also don't
have the means to do it.
They also don't speak English or have the language skills that we do. Many people don't have that either. So it makes it really difficult. There's a lot of people, they only speak Hebrew. Like, how can they get work in another country.
Yeah.
If their English is maybe like a lot of people, even their English is like not very good either.
Yes.
So we're like in a great position in that sense.
Yes.
But
and
it
it
only
it's
makes
still
us
not
realize
easy. And it's still not
exactly.
easy.
It just makes us realize just how difficult, how easy it is to say, yeah, just leave, and how difficult it actually is to do it.
Yeah.
And to get work, and obviously you don't
Here's
know
an
anyone.
interesting question in the chat. Are there any groups that offer resources to people wishing to leave? I don't know.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of, and I would be very surprised if there are such groups.
There's a Facebook group.
No, resources, actual resources, not, information.
Yeah. No, certainly not.
Certainly not.
Because
Certainly not.
there is to immigrate to Israel. There's a lot of resources because this is what they want. Any of those group, like if it were like a grassroots, I don't know where they would get like the funding, because obviously the Israeli government would not want to fund some group like that because they don't want people to leave. They want them only to
No, the Israeli government, funded by the US and other Western and European countries and other Western forces, only funds the movement of people inside Israel. Okay, as long as they're not Palestinians. Palestinians are absolutely not welcome.
Jews only, yeah.
Fuck you. But Jews, come.
Yes.
And even people who are only like 10% Jews or claim to be Jewish, come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they invest a lot of money into that.
Yes.
Okay. I think we talked about the political context a lot. Let's talk about what we want. Okay, about what.
Yeah.
Okay. We are two individuals. Okay, and we want a good life. We want everyone to have a good life. We want every individual to have a good life. This is exactly why we are anarchists. This is exactly why we are against oppression. This is exactly why we are vegan. This is exactly why we are anti-Zionist. This is exactly why we are feminists. This is exactly why we are against racism and capitalism and oppression of all kinds. And we want a good life for ourselves as well. Okay? Anyone has the right to want a good life and to do anything that they can to get a good life, not as long as it's not at the expense of anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We can agree on that? Good. We want a good life. And now we will tell you what is the dream for us. What would be a good life for us? And we will just say a few things that are really important for us. And our request from you, almost 200 people watching at the moment. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 people watching after the fact. If you have any advice for us, if you have any directions, if you have any ideas, anything that you can do to help us realize this dream, please, we would really, really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, we want, we cannot live in a cold climate. Both of us, one of the reasons that Tamar left the Netherlands is because it was too cold, right?
I know. It's funny when people ask me, "Oh, you're Zionist, you came to Israel. Why did you come?" And like one of the reasons is the weather, and it sounds like so shallow, but it's just true. I would just get so depressed in winter. It's not just the cold; it's the grayness of it, and the sunshine just has such an effect on my mood. It has a very, very big effect on it.
Yes. Yes, I don't think it's superficial at all. I think it's really, really hard to live in a cold climate for certain people.
For some people, yeah.
It's really
some people
hard.
thrive. I used to work with someone's like, I love winter and I want to live in England. But for me, it's the exact opposite. Where in winter I'm like more down, and here in Israel it's obviously much better, even the winters, and they're short. But in Holland, the winters were so long, and I was like just tired and didn't feel good, and it was like a very physical thing that I felt it. And Benny, can you be quiet?
Benny, you want attention? Benny, you want to be a star? Come, Benny. You want to be a star? Do you like Benny? He is the main star of the show. Okay. Yeah, he wanted attention. You see? That's all he wanted. He wanted attention. Okay. So we cannot live in a cold climate. This is why the Netherlands is out of the question. Okay,
Yeah.
it would be very convenient to go to the Netherlands because
would.
you have a Dutch passport. It would be very convenient. You know the language. I'm studying the language, by the way. But the cold is a deal breaker. The climate in Palestine is amazing. This is one of my favorite things about Palestine. What are the odds that I were to be born in Palestine, a place that I love so much? The land, I love it. I love the land. I love I love nature. I love the beach. I love the sea. I love the climate. I love the animals. I love that it's so diverse in the way of the climate. I love the warmth of the indigenous people. I love it. I love it. Unfortunately, I had a stroke of luck was that I was born in Palestine, and a stroke of misfortune was that I was born into the Zionist regime.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to leave Palestine. So climate-wise and atmosphere-wise, we would love to have another place like Palestine. Okay, so people suggested Spain, and this is indeed one of our top contenders. Okay, another thing that we want is not to live in an environment that is too urban. Okay, it's really hard for us to be surrounded by too many people. The cats really need some space, and the dream someone mentioned in the chat, why not go to an ecological farm? Why not go live in an ecological farm? This would be a dream for us, to be surrounded by all kinds of animals, not just the specific, primates called Homo sapiens. Okay, we don't want to just be surrounded by humans. We want to be surrounded by different animals. Okay, and living in an ecological farm can be very interesting for us, but we don't know any
particular ones.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, also I have zero agricultural skills, but maybe that's something to be learned. But maybe we'll get to the work part in a minute. I'll just say about this urban environment. Right now we live in Haifa, which is a city, but it's kind of a unique city in the sense that it has a lot of nature, and we literally, our apartment literally borders a huge nature reserve. So it's no problem for the cats. They can go outside, they can walk around, and they have a lot of, it's kind of off the road as well. It's not close to any main roads. So I'm thinking more like city center. That's like absolutely not an option. And not saying that the city is absolutely not possible at all, but in that case, it has to be a place where it's safe for cats to be able to go outside, and where there's a lot of nature around, and not like everything being built. That's the main thing about it.
Yes. Another thing that is important is our ability to sustain ourselves financially.
Yeah.
This is complicated because, so Tamar has a license to practice psychology here in Israel, under the Zionist regime. You don't have a license to practice psychology anywhere else, right?
Right. I looked into the Spanish rules for getting accredited. At some point, this was actually a year ago, I think I even looked at it, and it's very complicated. But and maybe, I don't know if I'd have to take additional exams or whatever, even though it's surprising, because I think here in Israel it's one of the most stringent training tracks of anywhere. It's literally a decade, and it's very in depth. I know, for example, that it in Holland, I know it's less than it is here in Israel. But yeah, that is something to consider also in terms of client base, because obviously, unless it's an English-speaking country, which it most probably would not be, then you have the local language that I don't speak, at least at first. I mean, of course, no matter where we go, like, we're going to 100% invest ourselves in learning the language. This is absolutely a must for both of us to be able to speak the language wherever we live. But it's going to take some time, especially for a profession that is so heavily language-based. So I'm going to have to rely on a private clinic So I'm going to have to rely on private clients. So then I can do therapy in English, in Dutch, in Hebrew even, maybe if there's local people living there, or maybe some Zoom for people that still live in Israel that I continue with on Zoom, or that I do therapy with on Zoom. But this is all in terms of the private clinic, and so it has to be a place where there's somewhat of a clientele. So this is maybe the reason, like when an ecological village, unless I completely rethink how we sustain ourselves, and I'm not working as a psychologist anymore, which is a thought, which is a very scary thing, because this is what I've relied on. This is what I've invested in financially for so long, and mostly the investment was not making money, not necessarily paying, but I won't completely rule it out, but at least at first, I would say that for the kind of financial security, it would make sense to be able to live in a place where it's not completely remote from people. Which it has to be balanced out with not wanting to be in a super urban and busy area, but still having access. For example, I'm thinking places like right outside the city, where within half an hour you can get to the city, or it's a very kind of quiet area, but there's still people living there. International as well, which is important, at least at first for the English, for maybe some people that I can give therapy in different languages that is not the local language, at least at first, to get established. So that's my part of.
And there's also stuff that we cannot. I don't know exactly what to say about this, but like this, the visa stuff. Like, if it's a place in Europe, then it's easier because, again, Tamar has a Dutch passport, and I can, piggyback ride on Tamar's back for this. But if it's somewhere else, if it's the US, I don't know if we can live in the US, for example. I don't know.
Or in South America, I think.
In South America, I don't know
what the.
I don't know what the rules are.
In the EU, I know that either way, when you're married, in most states also recognize being publicly, I don't know what it's called, like a public union or something like that.
And civil union.
Which is something we can get like no problem, as is. It's not, as far as I understand. And then it would open a lot of doors, but this only goes for EU countries. So that is why we've been looking more at EU countries than other places. But maybe there's other states out there that are actually have different visa routes, that have different visa options. So if any one of you know about that, we'd also be happy to hear about it. But that's the reason that we focus more on countries like Spain or Portugal.
Yes.
Maybe Greece.
Yes. We're both learning Spanish, by the way.
Yes.
Because we feel like this is a language that can really serve us if we need to in the future. Okay, so what else do we want to say about this?
Maybe you want to say about your options for work.
Yeah. So, okay. My experience is that holding down a so-called normal job is something that is very difficult to impossible for me. I couldn't do it. And maybe it's a result of me working jobs inside the Zionist cult under the Zionist regime. Okay, maybe normal jobs, so-called normal jobs, would be more bearable for me in places that are not here. Okay. However, I think that it's deeper than that. I think that for me, having a 9-to-5 job is just really difficult. And also, I feel like normal jobs are always part of the system, part of the oppressive system. If you work a normal job, then in some way you are connected to the system, and you need to serve the system in some way. And Tamar feels this, okay, all the time. The tension between going against the system and having to work as a psychologist, which you chose this job because it was like you felt that it was about helping people, right? Mm-hmm. About liberating people.
Yes.
But then you find yourself being told to do all kinds of stuff.
Yes. And when I chose this field, which when I was 16, I already knew that I wanted to go this way. I had no idea that's basically the job of a psychologist in our Western liberal system is to make people function within society, become more well-adjusted citizens within the oppressive systems. And that is kind of the backdrop of it, even though on smaller levels, it is about liberating people and it is about making them aware. And this is what I thought, like, okay, people are becoming aware and they're not just automatically going about making their choices. But it's funny because in my private clinic, I feel more free within this to speak more freely than within the public job that I work. But but yeah, actually, the moment that we decided that we're leaving, I felt some kind of a sense of relief. Like, I don't care anymore. I just kind of say whatever I want to say. And I'm looking forward to feeling that way when we're actually not here, that I can feel much more free to speak out, at least on certain topics.
Someone is saying you can work with refugees, for example. Yeah, so see, this is the tension. Like, if there was no oppressive system and we didn't have to make money, okay, we would dedicate our lives to helping others, okay? Like Tamar could do everything that she does pro bono and only treat people who really, really need it, okay? And we would go and volunteer in sanctuaries for non-human animals or whatever. But this is not the case. This is not the case. We need to have a way of sustaining ourselves financially. Okay, so there's always this tension. Okay, and we want to rethink a lot of things, but there are some things that we don't know how to do. Okay.
In one way, also thinking about how we can live a more like simple life, a more minimalistic.
Yes.
While still providing in all the needs also for the cats as well.
Yes.
This is why kind of like more free communal living forms. There are other reasons why it kind of scares me, but with the cat is something that I'm thinking less of. So we're still thinking this kind of like family unit kind of way of living is what we're thinking.
Yes.
And also know that immigrating to another country is a big financial hit. Like for a while, you're gonna have a big loss in income, and you're gonna have to pay a lot of money to all kinds of things. And but hopefully in time, it would be great if I could work partially to make money and partially really do something where, work with refugees or with whoever just, needs it without necessarily making so much money from it, without needing to make money from it. And this is another, actually it's funny because we haven't mentioned it as another consideration that the cost of living in Israel is very high.
Yes, I was going to speak about it, but
it's another reason to live, to leave.
No, but why is the cost of living in Israel high? Because all the resources are going into the military, they're going into the genocide, okay? Just a fact that seems like at first glance, it might seem insignificant, but I don't think it's insignificant. Mm-hmm. The cost of one bus ride in Israel until around 2-3 years ago was 5.5 shekels, which is around $1.50, okay, $1.50, okay, around $1.50. Then, around 2 years ago, before the genocide started, they raised it to 6 shekels, from 5.50 to 6 shekels. Then, I think it was 3 months ago, they raised it to 8 shekels, and the Minister of Transportation, this was part of a program called Transportation Justice, okay? And this is one of those cases where you have to put a lot of scare quotes on the things that fascists say, because what they actually did was raise the price from 6 shekels to 8 shekels, and they said very explicitly that this is to fund the war effort, which is now every time I go on a bus here, I have to pay an extra 2 shekels, which is about $0.50, okay? Which goes directly to fund the genocide that I'm doing my best to object to. So if I go to visit Elik, okay, to record an episode in which we are talking against Zionism and against the genocide, I have to pay several shekels, okay, that go directly to... This is just ridiculous, so fucking ridiculous. And now they're raising it to 9 shekels, okay? And I think that this is just a very, very concrete example for why the cost of living here in Israel is so high, because the resources are being taken away to fund this genocide, to fund the occupation, to fund the oppression, to fund the apartheid. And on a very pragmatic, personal level, more difficult for us to live here. Okay.
So one point that came up when you're speaking is that liberal Zionists love to blame the Orthodox.
Yeah, the ultra-Orthodox Jews.
The ultra-Orthodox Jews for the high cost of living, because they're not contributing to society, and they're getting all this money in child care, child services, and they don't even have to serve in the army. So they turn them into the scapegoats, like because of the ultra-Orthodox religious, because of the religious, the cost of living is so high. And meanwhile, they're supporting the genocide, which is probably the bigger reason that the cost of living is high here.
Yes.
So, but here again, I don't want to acknowledge that just how privileged we are that we're able to do this, and that also I chose a profession. Little did I know, but that I chose a profession that basically I can do it from anywhere. It's just we're talking about these things because it's very scary, because I have clientele, I have a job, and it's like leaving everything and building it up again from zero. So that is just very scary, and these just practical considerations of where we could live and make money. But it's possible. You know, we have the resources, we have the means, we have the education,
Yes.
But this is exactly what
I have a master's degree.
Yes.
Probably this will come in handy at some point. You know, I can say, I seem like a serious person. I have a master's degree in math. Okay. I can I don't know, like one direction is that to get like a visa is that I can sign up for classes in some university, and this makes sense because I am an academic. Okay. So maybe this will help.
Yes.
Most of this is not possible for most people. Okay,
it isn't. Yeah. So really, we don't want to be in the situation of we have to up and leave and just flee the country and we'll have a bad life. We're really trying to plan here to make it a sustainable and good life as well in another place. So another thing that's important to us is to live in a place where we can have people, not necessarily community, but enough people that are involved in activism.
Yes.
Of total liberation.
Yes.
So this includes activism,
or at least people that are open to the concept of total liberation, because here there are so few of them. Few of them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So both animal liberation as well as pro-Palestine activism. I know that's usually more concentrated in urban areas. Yes. Yeah. But again, maybe a place where we're not too far from a bigger city, but we're still a little bit outside.
In Barcelona, when we were in Barcelona for a week and a half, we felt like we had a lot of people surrounding us that we can have like good connections with. Yes. Okay, here the people are saying Spain is your place. Okay, maybe that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been going on for a long time. We said that we would only go on for an hour and a half.
Right. Thank you so much for all your ideas.
So many comments
afterwards,
here.
I wasn't able to read it all, but save it so that afterwards I can read it over.
We will go over the chat
and see everything that people wrote in terms of tips and suggestions and help that was offered. Really, thank you so much. This is so helpful because it's so scary. It's so scary to. I mean, I know I did it already, but I was 20, and there's this very streamlined process of coming to Israel to make it all very easy for you. When you don't have that, I don't know, maybe some of you have done it as well. So just how scary it is to leave everything behind. Also, I'm a different age now, I'm much more grounded, and I in work and in terms of friends as well, you have to start all over, and it's just scary. And this is why I think that we feel the need for some planning and for
to do it right.
To do it right.
Yes.
To also to really give us the courage to, okay, we know we have a plan. We know what we're now going to do.
Yeah. But someone asked in the chat before, do you plan to come back to Palestine when the apartheid regime is abolished? And what I have to say about this is I wish that this happens soon and in my lifetime. Yes. I wish that Palestine is free so that I can live in Palestine freely, so that we can live in Palestine freely, so that we can live in Palestine in a way that does not support oppression, that does not support apartheid. I wish that this happens in very, very soon as possible, and hopefully in our lifetime. Inshallah. And just before we finish, thank you so much for so many viewers who came to see us and listen to us. Thank you for everyone writing in the chat, all the helpful comments. We will go over them after. If you have any other helpful comments, please write them under this video if you're watching after the fact, when the video uploads. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, donate to my Patreon if you want and can help me do this, continue doing this. If you want to support the spread of this message, share the videos from the channel, everything that can help with the channel. Thank you so much.
Instagram as well.
Yes, go to Instagram. My Instagram is at roble_viajero. This is my Instagram that I have like more content there. Also TikTok. I'm starting TikTok, the Hebrew Canaanite on TikTok. You can subscribe to TikTok. Really? I want to put more effort into TikTok as well. What else?
That's it for now.
Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Benny. You're the star of the show. Thank you, Tamar, so much as usual. Pleasure. Thank you, everyone, and have an amazing day. And free Palestine, and free the entire planet, and free everyone, all living beings. Free all living beings from oppression. Bring down all oppressive system. Anarchy now. Bye.